Received someone else's frequently flyer gift. My new wife and I recently took a trip to Denver on a United flight. I fly often, but not as often as some other people. When I booked the flight, the plane was fairly empty, so I booked the window and aisle seats in premium economy section right behind first class seats, leaving the middle seat empty. By the time we actually flew, the flight was nearly full, so I checked the seat chart and noticed someone took the seat between us. No biggie. When we get on the flight, we will just offer the window or aisle seat to whoever booked the middle seat. Boarding time came and we were in Group 2. So the pre-boards and Group 1 got to go before us. When it was our turn to board and we got to our seats, there was an older man seating in the window seat. I thought that was kind of a dick move to just take someone else's seat without asking. Obviously, this guy has flown before since he had pre-boarding status without having young kids. Was not disabled and definitely wasn't in the military. I let it go since we were going to switch seats anyway. Soon after the flight took off, the attendant came up to me with a gift bag and congratulated me for achieving 1 Kelvin status. The gift bag wasn't for me, it was for the guy that took the window seat without asking. He obviously knew what he was doing and has probably done this before. The guy was looking out the window all through boarding and never turned his head to acknowledge us until the flight attendant came over with the gift bag. I accepted his gift bag and the flight attendant asked if I'd like a complimentary drink as well. Of course I said yes, and even got a free glass of wine for my wife too. I glanced at the guy and could see the anger in his eyes. But he didn't say a thing. Petty win for me over this guy that took my seat that I would have given him. But instead he took it without asking. I really don't know how that dick move worked anytime he was displacing someone other than a couple. If it had been Lil Ol me with no premier status ever in my life, but I'd scored a window seat on a full flight, you can be sure that I'd have called over the flight attendant and made him move. Unless United would have deferred to him and made me take his seat. And even then I'd have managed to spill a drink on him. It used to be that being nice to airline folks meant that they would treat you really well. Now, I find that they so seldomly get treated well that they don't know how to respond. We will be overly nice, even if they can't give us what we ask them to do. And it's interesting to see how they seem almost apprehensive about us because we still treat them with respect after they deny our request. I feel bad for how they get treated on the regular. That job shouldn't be as hard as it is. As a frequent flyer myself, I love this. I remember booking a basic economy ticket. Not eligible for upgrade. I got called to the counter before boarding and they said they couldn't believe someone with my status hadn't been up to complain about having a middle seat, and that they had a family that wanted to sit together and could get me a window seat, my preferred. Gladly took the upgrade, and I like to think some grumplepotamus with better status got skipped over for whining too much. Nice. What was in the gift bag? My new wife and I. What happened to the old wife? Justice flies in premium economy class today. Congratulations. His dick move rebounded so that you got compensation for what you would have offered him if he had bothered to ask. When I booked the flight, the plane was fairly empty, so I booked the window and aisle seats in premium economy section right behind first class seats, leaving the middle seat empty. By the time we actually flew, the flight was nearly full, so I checked the seat chart and noticed someone took the seat between us. No biggie. When we get on the flight, we will just offer the window or aisle seat to whoever booked the middle seat. Less than. Is this a common strategy people use in order to try to get a row to themselves? I worked for a satellite-based ISP. Not that one. No, not the new one. The other one. Manning the overnights. Most calls were resolved with a reboot. But 10 to 15% it was something more involved. Here's the thing. I could move heaven and earth to resolve a problem. But the ruder and more offensive you were, the more those avenues were closed to you. It's amazing what a little kindness will do for you. Especially if dealing with service folk. Treat them like a human being with some dignity and respect. And maybe the heavens will shift for you. 2. Our stolen seats would love this. I doubt it's the case. But it would be funny if the flight attendant knew what cheeky window seat thief did and awarded you your gift bag to spite him. I know this might be easier said than done. But call people out on this kind of rude behavior. Even if you were going to switch anyway. He has no right to claim a seat. If I feel like someone is gonna cause drama, I always speak loudly and clearly. Excuse me, sir. You are in my assigned seat. Here it is indicated on my ticket. This story warmed my heart. I hope you opened it up to show your wife everything inside with a bunch of O's and ahs and awesomes. Was not disabled. Many disabilities aren't visible, and that goes double for an elderly person. Sweet. Ooh yes, that is some sweet delicious karma. I love how quickly that was too. What a nice man. Gave you lovely gifts and a story to tell. Oh, is this your gift bag? Well, that's my window seat. Reminds me of this Bible verse which could be a life pro tip. Luke chapter 14 verses 8 to 10, New International Version 8. When someone invites you to a wedding feast, do not take the place of honor for a person more distinguished than you may have been invited. 9. If so, the host who invited both of you will come and say to you, give this person your seat. Then, humiliated, you will have to take the least important place. 10. But when you are invited, take the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he will say to you, friend, move up to a better place. Then you will be honored in the presence of all the other guests. As a former FF, I liked this.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.